So on fuel subsidies, as I said earlier, I mean, how and whether to subsidize and to what extent, honestly, is a very deeply domestic and deeply political question. If governments want to do that, that's fine. But we think it's suboptimal, as I said, for reasons I explained earlier, that the benefits of subsidies tend to accrue to richer households. But if that's what government is deciding, that's fine. Removing them also, I think, is of course part of this political and domestic debate that needs to be had. We know, of course, in Nigeria that fuel subsidies eat up tremendous amount of resources. At the same time, that the government doesn't have resources to address the huge investment needs from health to education to infrastructure. But this is a choice for Nigerian government, Nigerian civil society to make. We've also heard the discussion that's going on, the debate that's going on whether this is ideal. We try and inform that debate with numbers, with practices elsewhere, and I think that's our role, and look forward to whatever decision the government takes. On debt, again, whether debt is sustainable or not, is not dependent on just one number, one threshold, but rather, really a lot of. You have to look at a lot of indicators to assess, the trajectory, whether debt will be sustainable in the coming years or not. And I think, it's really, when we make an assessment and we classify countries as being in a moderate risk or high risk, or we talk about vulnerabilities being elevated, it takes into account, what we think are the kind of policies that the government's going to pursue, and of course, certain assumptions about the global environment. The last several years has been full of shocks, so it has made countries' ability, to bring debt on a sustainable trajectory more difficult. But, they've been compensating for that also with stronger economic policies. So for a country like Nigeria also, the future trajectory of its economy is going to depend on a whole host of variables, the reforms that the government pursues, how effectively it uses the resources it has, the oil price trajectory. So it's a combination of those factors that will determine the sustainability of Nigeria's debt. Right now, it looks manageable, but it's really also important, of course, and contingent on what policies will be pursued in the coming months and years.